This is one giant story. Randy Rahe has retired. Let's see, this is the old Swenson gym. This is the first games I saw. Dick Motta was the first coach I knew, but there were great coaches before Dick Motta down at the old Weber State campus downtown Ogden, where on 25th Street, the old Deseret Gym, where the likes of Wat Masaka won a national championship, the first player of color in the history of the NBA, but they won't even talk about around here. Of course, they won't mention Trevon Smith up here, will they? Won't mention his name, and then they wonder why they got all this bad luck. Rashid signed a contract with the, so you know, with the Saints, but I shot that video. He shouldn't have been playing in that last game, and when he went down, we've asked, you know, and I've talked, and they kind of, what's the odds? Last half of the last game, tore that tendon all the way through, but he came all the way back, and rumor is he ran a 4.2 recently, and I believe it, and he would have been a first rounder, but that's the bad luck. But the bad karma got thrown on the night that I stood right there, and they didn't mention Trevon Smith, but they put his coach in the Hall of Fame. You know, until Weber State starts to honor the people they should honor. They did Kathy Miller, I'll give them that year. The karma's going to keep flowing. So this is a big story around here. Willie Soldier, the greatest player in the history of this school, he's right up there. Justin Thigpen played in this building. But I vote for Jimmy DeGrafferty as the new head coach. We need an insider. Duff's going to be the coach for a while, I understand. Eric, his longtime assistant. But they're full of young players, and I hope all these young players play here because they got a bunch of great young players, including Dyson Kohler, who's local, including Dylan Jones, you know, too. I think Juara left. But so Randy's career was shredded in mediocrity. Great players. I mean, Ron Bagley's the greatest coach ever coached here. That's saying a lot. We retired Dick Motta's this year. Phil Johnson, second greatest. I mean, Phil Johnson was one great coach. And if Sloan would have got off the field and let him coach the Jazz, they'd have banners, wouldn't they? So I see Chris Paul has entered John Stockton Karl Maloneville again. Never won one, did he? So, and that player from Dallas, he didn't play college basketball. He didn't play any college basketball. He didn't start playing basketball until he was 17. He's all that. By the way, Rashid will be a superstar. Bruce Collins, 22 is the number around here. So, the greatest player who ever played at Weber State basketball, Randy Rahe, Damian Lillard, all that, then some. But he was ahead by 22 points in the Big Sky Championship game and lost. He lost championship twice, you know, all that, but he broke Eddie Gill. Now there's a player. Harold Arsenault's show. Still say, and Randy Rahe's players, and he had great ones. Joe Ballenboy, oh, so good. Jeremy Sieglin, Scotty Bamforth, I mean, Zach Brax, Jerry Carty. Jerry Carty's the greatest talent I ever saw play. But Randy Rahe's teams were heartbreakers. Speaking of Jerry Carty, he's a freshman. When they're playing in the Big Sky Championship, head by 7 points with 40 seconds to go and lost. You know, I always go back to Dusty Baker. He's my favorite that ever played for Randy and Jerry Carty. So this is a big deal. We want Jimmy DeGrafferty. We want a Weber State guy. We want a Weber State guy. We don't want a Utah State. We don't want a Utah. We don't want a BYU. This is Weber State, and we're the legendary program. By the way, the women's softball, I've said for years, what is the official cola of men's sports at Weber State? Men's. Coca-Cola, not the softball team's the best they ever had. They won the championship and gave 13-1 the Big Sky Championship. They're all that. So, the legendary track team. So this is a big deal in our world. Randy is retired, and give him his dues. He put how many players into professional basketball in Europe, and they dominate over there. They're all good. His X's and O's, he was a stickler, boy. I used to call it Randy Rahe's boot camp. I'd wear my hard hat. I did the play-by-play the whole time. And I'll say this about Randy. The only person that ever he did for a while, stuck up for me when I had cancer, when I had leukemia during Damian Lillard's tenure. Randy stuck up for me for a while. And, you know, the radio station, everybody turned their back on me. But that's what they did to Wat Masaka, right? Wat Masaka. Now, why is his name not mentioned here? He won 2 national championships at Weber State. Oh, just a JC. He's the first player of color in the history of the NBA. Born and raised in Ogden. Yeah, yeah. You know, Alan Holmes. What's